that it actually costs less for people to stay in their home. And on top of that, here in Lawrence, there's no place for someone who can't afford to stay in their home. There's no state or government facility. They get sent out of Lawrence. So that's money that's gone from our community if that person moves.
And there's an economic that covers the whole nation. And I was an ombudsman for nursing homes. And I know that if you live too long, no matter how much you've saved, I guess maybe if you're Bill Gates, but if you live long enough in a nursing home, you're going to go on Medicaid. There is no other way, which then that means you get $63 a month to spend on yourself. The rest of it is all payment for being there. So, and then the taxpayers pay the difference. And as it should be. We've all paid it. I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying the longer we can prevent somebody needing that level of services, we're saving for the federal budget and the state budget and the county budget and the city budget. But again, like Forrest said, we don't have the hard data to prove it, but hopefully down the road we'll have it.
If you're paying $50 to $75 a month versus $3,000 to $5,000 a month, you know, the obvious economics are there, but you have to get the programs out to prove it. So I think we could pull from the national numbers, but I can also see questions arising, well, what about here in Lawrence? You know, what does that mean to us? So we kind of have to get further along down the road and show some cost-benefit analysis for this telephone reassurance program. You know, as big as it might get, if you're calling somebody every day at 10 and they don't answer, and it turns out that they have a health care emergency and you were able, to get some intervention, you can use that as an important example.
Oh. Now you're making presentations to all different kinds of groups around town. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming that the faith groups you've talked with.
We have spoken to some of them, and we are making attempts to contact other key people. I know there's a ministerial alliance, and I've tried several months ago to contact members of that group with no success. I have a name of a person now that I'm going to be contacting in hopes of...
Yeah, I was wondering if you know, I think most of the larger churches, well-developed churches, have some kind of special ministries to the elderly
and we've spoken to some of them.
Right.
St. John's Catholic Church, Plymouth Congregational,
Trinity
Lutheran, and are those the only three now?
And we've informally spoken to Peace Mennonite and given them the material.
Yeah, what I was wondering was if you could bring together representatives of their ministries groups in one, so it's become a kind of an interfaith interaction that you would have with them. That I would think that the things that some of them are doing already would fit in nicely with what you're shooting for.
Parish nursing, for instance.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
They do, and I know at St. John's there is a senior ministry happening, and they're doing some of the things for free that we're trying to do. I don't know how complicated it is because I'm not on that ministry, but you're right, there is a lot of overlap, and we hope to get some attention from the right people so that they will sit down and listen. So if you can help in that regard, we appreciate it. Spread the word.
I'm aware, and I think Tamara and Ellen are, that in Wyandotte County there's a group called Crosslines that's an ecumenical church group which has developed for a lot of folks in poverty, both housing as well as services and transportation. And I think Douglas County is ripe for an ecumenical church group that might work together, but we have not really been able to get that group to speak in front of them. So,
Crosslines was a creation of the War on Poverty in the mid-60s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you all. We really appreciate it. And, you know, if each of you will spread the word of a little bit and contacts like you were talking about, that's what we're trying to reach out to. So thank you very much for having us today.
Take our brochures and hand them to people you think might need them, or if in your neighborhood you want us to speak. As Chris said, his name and number is on those brochures, and if you can help us get the word out, we would appreciate it. Thank you.
You know, you've been all